Hey, empowered yoga teachers, good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. I have not even had caffeine, but I'm feeling so good this morning. How are you? Let me know in the comments. So today we're doing puppy pose, Anahatasana. Hey, Pamela. And this is one of my favorite poses, period, but really great for yin. So here I have the blanket, which is great for the knees. We're usually here for a bit in yin yoga. And one thing I like to do with the blanket is, because I have a little bit of stuff going on with my knees, with my right knee, especially right in the kneecap, is I let my kneecaps float right off the edge. So the blanket's here, and then my knee is just hanging off the edge, and that helps relieve any strain or tension that I have there. My students really like this a lot. Another way you could do this is just to fold up the mat and then put the knees right there. So then we come to all fours, tabletop, and then lots of options here. We can come down to elbows first, just to check in, let the head be neutral, and then start to walk the arms forward. And generally, we're looking for hips aligned roughly over the knees, but again, this is yin yoga, so we're not trying to be overly worried or concerned about what the alignment looks like. It's more about what it feels like. So for some people, this is a little tight for the shoulders, including me. So taking the arms a little wider is nice. And my forehead will rest on the floor. This feels really good on my shoulders. This is a gentle back bend. It's great for the urinary bladder meridian for the front body, and then the spleen for the back body and, the front body and the inside of the legs. It actually gets a little bit of stomach and even lungs when the arms are at the party. You could also do this with just your forehead on folded arms. What I do like to do a lot is one arm at a time. So you take the one arm and bend it, put your head down, and reach the other arm forward, and maybe even a little out, and that really lets me sink into that shoulder, and I'll show you the other side. And then contraindications here would be if there's any tingling, pinching, or anything like that, then you would just want to do a less deep version. So the trick is to ask students what they're feeling. Like for me right here, I feel a nice stretch. I feel a little bit of safe compression in my shoulder and opening. I feel some stretching of fascia, probably soft tissue, but probably mostly muscle in my top of my shoulder. And another way you can do this too is with a bolster. You can put the bolster right under the chest, or it's really more like right above the chest here, and that requires less arm strength to hold you up. And then another one you can do if you want to get a little deeper is move the bolster. You can also do this with blocks forward, rest your forehead here, or even further and here, and that really lets me sink down and through, and I can get quite a lot deeper. Sometimes my students like to do it like this, so they bend the elbows. You could either rest the head there or fold it through or let it fall through. And this is nice because I'm getting a stretch in my biceps and a little bit in my triceps. And block is a great option for the forehead as well. So you could just have someone here if the deep shoulder option doesn't feel good. So if you have anyone who's had breast cancer or any kind of anything that has caused any scar tissue here. So when I first had my heart surgery, I had, because they cut through a rib here, and I still have some scar tissue. So this right side is a lot less willing to open. This yin yoga is really good for it. It's healthy tissue now, so this yin application is fine. I would hold this for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes in a yin yoga class. That will depend on your students and what their tolerance level is for sitting still. And if you have someone who doesn't need to be on their knees, you can do lots of different things, because you would want to think about it like you're wanting to open the front body and shoulders. So you could do, a variation of my favorite, which is the ramp. You have to be thinking about, like I had someone doing this the other day and they got dizzy. So I just flipped them over and gave them this more restorative option, but we can still get some shoulder opening, and you can have them take the arms overhead. And if you look at my feet and my knees and my hips, my shoulders and my arms, it's not too far off from that position that I'm doing if I'm folded over. If I'm flipped over. You can have cactus arms here. It's fine for the arms to hang out like this as long as it doesn't hurt. No pinching, tingling, shooting pain, any kind of numb sensation. So if that happens, then the arms just come down here. Another way that you could get a gentle back bend would be to do a supported bridge. So it takes it quite a bit different from what we're doing here, but it's another option that you could offer if that one didn't work for that person. So again, you can see I'm coming close to the option that I did flipped over. So really with your students and your classes, be thinking about, what is the intention behind this posture? What joints am I trying to get to? What tissue am I trying to access? What meridians am I trying to stimulate? So with spleen meridian, it's centered a lot around worry or doubt, and stimulating or balancing it can really help alleviate that. And it's also good for creativity. So these are just things that I like to start to weave into my classes once people get used to it. I didn't come out of the gate teaching my yin yoga classes right away with all the talk about meridians and all of that. And a lot of times I will talk about some emotional aspect related to meridians, but I don't say, this is spleen meridian. So if you worry all the time, then your spleen meridian probably needs some stimulation and clearing. Sometimes I do. I have students who've been with me for a really long time, and we do that. And certainly in my trainings, I do that. But this puppy pose is one of my favorite ones, and it's a great transition pose. If you have any questions, let me know. I do see a couple of people in here. So, hey, Jennifer Bartlett. How's everybody doing? It's good to see you. I'm so glad you showed up. Brian is your friend. I'm going to jump off here. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye for now.